If you want to bind a man to you, you must first understand something most women were never taught. Men do not attach through words. They attach through emotional states. A man does not remember everything you say. He remembers how he feels when he is with you. He remembers whether his nervous system relaxes or tightens. He remembers whether he feels accepted or evaluated, whether he feels peace or pressure. This is why trying harder often backfires. Explaining more does not create closeness. Sacrificing yourself does not create devotion. Overgiving does not create security. Attachment is not created by effort. It is created by emotional safety. A man bonds when he feels he can be himself around you. Not impressive, not successful, not perfect, just himself. When he does not feel judged, when he does not feel corrected, when he does not feel like he is failing an invisible test. You do not bind him by being everything he wants. You bind him by being someone he feels calm with. Calm is rare, and rare is magnetic. Most women believe attraction is built through intensity, but intensity excites the mind. It does not anchor the heart. A man stays where his emotions feel regulated, where his thoughts slow down, where his body feels at ease. This is why emotional maturity is more attractive than beauty. Why presence is more powerful than performance. Why grounded women create stronger bonds than dramatic ones. You don't need to compete with other women. You don't need to outperform anyone. You don't need to prove that you are different. You become different the moment you stop trying. A woman who is emotionally centered creates a subtle pull. She does not chase. She does not force. She does not demand. She allows. An allowance gives a man the freedom to choose. And what a man chooses freely, he protects fiercely. When you stop trying to secure him, he starts securing himself to you. Because attachment does not grow under pressure. It grows under permission. And you, without realizing it, become the place he returns to. One of the most misunderstood dynamics in relationships is space. Most women fear space. Men need it, not because they don't care, but because space is where male attachment develops. A man processes emotions internally, in silence, in distance, in reflection. When you fill every gap with messages, questions, emotional processing, you interrupt his bonding cycle. Silence does not mean disinterest. Distance does not mean detachment. Often, it means integration. When you pull back without resentment, a man leans forward with curiosity. When you stop monitoring the connection, he starts feeling it. This is why chasing kills attraction. It removes mystery. It removes polarity. It removes choice. You do not pull back to punish him. You pull back to stay aligned with yourself. Alignment is attractive. Neediness is exhausting. A woman who can sit with uncertainty without collapsing into anxiety creates emotional gravity. She doesn't beg for clarity. She observes behavior. She doesn't demand consistency. She embodies it. Men respect women who respect their own boundaries, not loudly, not aggressively, but quietly. When you don't overextend, he starts extending himself. When you don't overexplain, he starts paying attention. When you don't overstay, he starts missing. This is not manipulation. This is emotional intelligence. A man bonds when he feels he arrived at you on his own. When the desire feels self-generated, when the choice feels personal, you bind a man not by being constantly available, but by being consistently self-contained, because value does not shout. It resonates, and resonance is what lingers long after you're gone. A man attaches deeply when his masculine energy is honored, not challenged, not diminished, not managed. This does not mean you submit. It means you stop competing. You allow him to give. You allow him to initiate. You allow him to feel capable. Men fall in love through usefulness, through contribution, through impact. When a man feels he adds value to your life, he attaches emotionally. You do not need to micromanage. You do not need to correct. You do not need to prove you can do everything alone. Strength does not require demonstration. It requires self-trust. Softness is not weakness. It is confidence without aggression. When you are emotionally regulated, you become magnetic, because masculine energy is repelled by chaos and drawn to peace. A man bonds to the woman who feels like relief after pressure, like calm after noise, like grounding after stress. You don't bind him by fixing him. You bind him by allowing him to show up as he is, while staying fully yourself. This balance is rare, and rarity creates attachment. A woman who knows when to speak and when to stay silent creates emotional depth without effort. She does not fight for position. She does not negotiate desire. She allows alignment to reveal itself. Men do not attach to women who chase power. They attach to women who embody stability, and stability feels like home at the deepest level. A man stays where he feels chosen without pressure, desired without obligation, loved without control. You do not bind a man by holding on tighter. You bind him by standing firmly in who you are. A woman who knows her value does not audition for love. She observes, she feels, she decides. And that energy shifts everything, because men do not commit to urgency. They commit to peace. They do not attach to intensity. They attach to consistency. They do not stay because they were convinced. They stay because they were aligned. When you stop trying to make him yours, you become the woman he chooses. And here's the truth most women never hear. The right man does not need to be chased. He does not need to be reminded. He does not need to be convinced. He anchors himself naturally, willingly, fully. And when a man anchors himself, he does not drift. He stays.